Hello everyone and welcome. Today we have a speed build. This is what we're going to be building today, and guess what? I actually built this from an inspiration. So this is what my little inspiration was, a cute little cottage there. And yeah, so this is what we are going to be building today. I don't often build a lot of cottages. It's probably not what I'd call my forte, but I do enjoy building them. I think they're a good challenge. I don't know how good I am at the exterior of them. I'm fine with decorating them and I like landscaping them, but yeah, I'm not too sure about the actual building and construction of them. I think I did pretty good in this. I think having an inspiration does help a lot in terms of just understanding the look that you want to go for on the exterior, but I do find the roofs can be a little bit challenging with cottages. Just depending, I guess, on the type of roof and what you're doing with it. I did struggle a little bit with this one because it sort of had like a bit of an overhang on the side and the sort of the larger part around the back, and it just took a bit of fussing around just to work out how I wanted that all to sit. But I got there in the end. As you can sort of see, it's coming together there. I did edit out quite a bit of fussing around, quite a bit. But I got there in the end. So this is actually built on an angle as well, just to add to the trickiness factor. I did try it on a forward facing sort of not angle, I guess, but I did try it forward facing and it was struggle. It just didn't look right. I sort of felt like the angle kind of made the build, having that sort of angle around the sides. So yeah, I did change to having it around on the angle, but it does make it trickier for decorating, to say the least. But not too bad. Not too bad, but it is a bit of a balancing act to get that right. I am just playing around with having something around on the side there as well, just a little bit something extra, just sticking out of the build. It just kind of felt like a little bit like there was just a whole big, like, long side to the building, and it was just kind of dull. So I was like, well, I kind of need something extra on that side. So I added a little extra sticking out area, and that's going to be turned into the dining room. And this is a 2-level home, both short levels, I think. I don't think I went medium. Did I go medium? I don't think so. I think those are both short. So I'm just using the corbels at the moment just to decorate the end. I don't often use the corbels, but with a cottage build and a traditional build, I find that they actually really do suit those, and that's when I do use them. But I don't pull them out for the modern builds very often, if at all, or the contemporary builds. It's a stylistic thing, and it just adds to the style and the flavour of the build. I did play around with the colours on the outside for a while. I did think about doing like the get together wallpaper where you have, you know, like the Tudor style buildings in Windenburg with the kind of the wood running up, the wood oh, they're not panels, but what are they? They're like little columns, but they're not exactly columns, but they're oh dear. Anywho, you know what I'm talking about. So the wood running up the sides of the building, and I was considering that for the wallpaper, but it looked a bit weird because the inspiration kind of had that vibe about it, but yeah, it just wasn't quite working. So I went with the plainer stone on the outside, and I think that worked better than the get together wallpaper. It looked a little less weird. And what I think I'm using the Discover University stone, I think it is. Ooh, I can't remember, but yeah, it just kind of has that slightly separated out sort of stone look, which was kind of like the inspiration. It kind of had that look on the chimney and stuff as well, so that was the closest I could sort of match it. So what I'm going to do something a little bit different with the garden here is that I'm going to actually raise it up a little bit around the exterior of the building. It's a little hard to see from this, I guess, the angle, but you can sort of see it. But it just adds like a, yeah, just like a raised sort of feel to the garden around the house, and I thought that kind of worked. Just something a little bit different. I don't often do like a raised garden, but I did in this instance. Yeah, I was actually really pleased with how the landscaping turned out in this build, so I'm excited to show you guys what I did. So I'm just adding a few flowers around here on the raised flower bed. It just adds an element of height around the outside of the build, so there's just like a little bit more of a natural feel to it, and that's kind of the, you know, the vibe that you get with the country and living sort of life. It was really cute when you'll see when I do the tours, but there was like little rabbits and stuff hopping around. It was so cute. I was like, oh, look at the little rabbits hippity hopping around. I just got so distracted doing the tours, just watching the rabbits. It's just like, it took me ages to do them because it's like, oh, look at that rabbit, it's so cute. Yeah. In the inspiration, the garden was actually quite, like, you could see a lot of the dirt in the garden, so it wasn't like an overflowing garden, which when you think of cottage builds, you kind of think, you know, like the overflowing garden, lots of flowers, you know, that sort of thing. But the inspiration didn't have that. It was just more a simple garden with a bit of the dirt coming through. So this is why I don't go like super crazy on the old flowers on the landscaping, because I was kind of prepared to, and then I was like looking at the picture, I was like, well, you know what? It's just quite simple and I like that, so I'm not going to really overdo it. I had a rethink on what I was going to do with this front area, because in the inspiration it does like have a little area for planted pots and that sort of thing. So I thought, well, you know what, I can go overboard with that. I can do that. I didn't go super overboard or anything, but yeah, I wanted to create like a little planted areas. Okay, so I've got a few plants here. I'm just going to organize them around this little area. I wanted to go for like the kind of little planters that you would find on the sort of the patio kind of area, and just nothing too formal. I just wanted to be sort of more natural looking in the old planters and that sort of thing. Just like a cute little area of someone who likes a sort of random collection of different pots and, you know, just someone that isn't too formal and loves gardening and plants and greenery and life and simple living. And this is the kind of person that is going to go into this little cute cottage. Maybe someone that has a pet. I don't think I put any pet equipment in there, but you could. And yeah, that's the kind of sim I thought would go into this particular house. So now I'm going to work on the ivy. So that's just going to run up the wall in a few different places. And I'll come back once I finish that, because it wasn't too exciting to watch. Alrighty, so the ivy is all done on the exterior. I'm just putting a few garden lights in and some other lights around the back as well, because I've got a little back area. I'm just going to build like a little porch for that little back area, because I thought it'd be like a cute little porch for sitting out the back, maybe on a sunny afternoon and just enjoying nature and the beautiful view. Because I mean, the view from this house is absolutely stunning. I mean, you're sitting smack dab in the middle of Henford-on-Bagley and it's just all greenery and nature and gorgeous. So yeah, why wouldn't you want to sit out on the back porch and really enjoy the view? Maybe have a couple of friends over to enjoy a barbecue of vegetables, because maybe you're a vegetarian and you enjoy having the rabbits around and you're like, no, I'm not going to cook meat, I'm going to just cook vegetables. So I used the get together, actually quite a lot of the get together outdoor furniture. I think it's actually really pretty and kind of traditional vibe, so I thought that really suited the vibe of the cottage. And yeah, so that's what I went with. Just getting a few more plants out there, because, you know, as I mentioned, our sim is a plant lover. Loves the plants, loves the simple life, and loves the animals. So I got really inspired with the landscaping in this particular build. I had a lot of fun with it, just going less on the natural kind of plants, although I'm just getting a bit crazy with the old daisies at the moment. But less with the natural plants and going like thinking about like different potted plants and stuff I could put around the build. Um, and I thought that was that worked really nicely for this because yeah, I can see my little sim pottering around in the garden and enjoying themselves with their different little mix of different things that they love. So I added some bit more of brightness with the daisies in the corners underneath the trees and just put some seeding under there as well, and that's the get together seeding on the outside. Oh yeah, and that's right, and I did like a little bird bath and a little bird house as well because I thought that was like a cute little corner. So getting to the other half of the landscaping, so I had this space and I was thinking about just doing trees, but then I was like, no, well hang on. This, this is a simple living kind of lot. Well, I didn't put like a lot trait on it, but it could be like a simple living kind of lot. So I want to have like some space for gardening. So I'm just doing another little porch around this side. So this is the door that comes out from the dining area. So kitchen dining, and then that would take you straight out to the garden area. So you can go out, you can collect your eggs and you can collect your vegetables and stuff like that, and it's stuff that you can just go out, collect it from the garden and go straight back in and cook it. I mean, isn't that amazing? Being able to do that, that would be so cool. Living that sort of life. So appealing. But, time and energy and life and money. Oh, wow. So, getting rid of the tree, and I'm putting in a chicken coop. So we're going to have little chickens there so they can have our eggs. It's not a big lot, so there wasn't really room for llamas or cows, unfortunately, because I think those sort of suit the slightly larger lots a bit better. But we did have room for chickens and some gardening lots and a little garden shed. So I'm about to build that now. Just a cute little garden shed. I did make it functional. What did I put in there? Did I put woodworking table, or I think I put the flower arranging table in there. Pretty sure that's what I did. So it is a functional little shed as well that you can do something in. So, I mean, if you want to switch it for woodworking, I guess you could as well. Pretty sure that's what I put in there. So I didn't go overboard on the amount of garden plots. I mean, that's depending on what you're growing. It's either 4 trees or 16 smaller plants. So, that's lots of gardening there. Just getting another little tree and off to the side, just to fill that little corner space. And what did I do? A few more flowers, I think, around there. Just give that sort of wilder nature kind of vibe that cottages tend to have. But I did keep it fairly simple as far as that goes. So just looking on the inside of the shed and getting some lights in there because you need to be able to see what you're doing when you're in the shed. Oh yeah, I wanted the laundry day light. I was like, where is it? Where is it? I could not find it for the life of me. Just the simple hanging bulb. I was originally going to do like a bit of the greenhouse haven stuff in here. But I mean, I did do a little bit of it, but I was going to have like this big, gardening spot and that sort of thing. I just realised, well, this isn't really super functional, and I want to have it like a functional element to it. So you'll see me build this out, and then I'll change it around, I think, just so I can fit the flower arranging table in there. So yeah, this is me thinking about it, going, no, hang on. This doesn't work for me. I just, I like to make the rooms sort of functional too. So it's not just a decorative thing, because if it's just decorative, your Sims aren't going to use it. It's just decorative. And you want to make a point, have it useful for your little Simmies. Okay, we're about done with the shed, so it is time to move inside. The exterior is pretty much done, I think. I don't think I had too much else to that. Stairs on an angle in the house. Oh, what fun. So that's the angle I decided on there, and then I'm just going to put some lighting in there, just using the cottage living lights because, well, it's a cottage, that's kind of perfect. And what am I going to work on first? Probably the floor plan might be a good starting point. So we've got the stairs coming up here. It's kind of like got an awkward corner, but it just kind of was the best way to put it in there where I had the most room for the bed, because this is going to be an upstairs bedroom. It is going to be a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom cottage. There's going to be 1 bedroom downstairs, 1 bedroom upstairs, and the bathroom is going to be downstairs as well. So I'm going with, is this the cats and dogs bed? Could be. I think it might be, actually. I think that's the cats and dogs bed. I just wanted, you know, that quilty kind of feel there. And I am going with a red vibe on the interior, just like touches of red here and there. Well, probably more than a few touches, but you know, you'll get the vibe as we go through. And because we've got a chimney, of course, we've got a couple of fireplaces in here as well. So I just use the small, I think it's a horse ranch, little small single grid fireplace, which is actually quite handy sometimes. You can have like a bit of a smaller chimney area, which is nice. So just getting your rocking chair in here. Now this is a very crafty bedroom, so I'm putting like your crochet stuff and knitting stuff and bits and pieces in here because the person that's up in this bedroom is definitely into their crafts. So in the winter particularly, they're going to be in here and they're going to be, you know, knitting or sitting by the fire and doing a bit of crocheting or whatever they want to do, I guess. But it is a bit of a crafty bedroom for sure. So I'm using a lot of the nifty knitting. I think I'm using mostly nifty knitting for this bedroom to bring out the sort of the crafty vibe. I was looking for the right shelf to sit in here, so I went through Laundry Day, Tiny Living, and nifty knitting, and eventually found this a little shelf, and I thought it was going to be perfect. I don't know if the sun can get in there, but it's not functional, so they don't need to. It just is there to look pretty, basically. Long story short. So just changing the colour, adding in some more decoration and a crafty wall. I thought, well, no, hang on. They want to probably access that in theory. That's just, you know, the story behind it. And, you know, if they have to, they can squeeze past the end of that banister and they can get into that corner and do their little crafty stuff too. This is how I imagined it in my head. Curtain-wise, I went with, what did I go with? I think I went with cats and dogs one. With a little fringe on it. It just covered those little cottage living windows quite nicely. Are they cottage windows? The windows are covered quite nicely. I can't remember if I used cottage living windows or not at this point. So, and then I've got one more wall to do here. And I just needed some decorative stuff to go on there. So I'm just using stuff with like, I was picturing something with like landscapes and stuff on it. I thought that would probably work nicest. It'd be the right kind of vibe for this house, for that room particularly, because we're living the cottage life and landscapes and pretty things are what we're into. So now we're heading downstairs and I've got to work out the floor plan. I was a bit nervous about this. The only thing I knew going into the bottom floor was where the dining room was going, and that was it. That was the only part I knew. So I was like, I know I'm going to put a dining room here. So how the rest of this is going to go, I have no idea. But I worked it out. So that was kind of like the basis around which I worked out the floor plan was from this dining room. I was like, okay, so kitchen should go here. I'm just going to block off the stairs, so then that gives me an idea of the space that I have available, and then I'm going to work from there. So logically, that gave me, from doing that, the space for the kitchen, because you want to have sort of the dining room and the kitchen connected, and that made sense with the flow that I had envisioned, where they would go from the come in from out of the garden, getting their fresh produce, and then coming in to cook it and then eat it. Yum, yum, yum. So then it was the fun job of trying to work out how to situate the kitchen. This did take a little bit of fussing around, but got there in the end with it, because it just sort of didn't, the size, let me put this another way. So when the house is on an angle, the size of the walls, some of the sizes of the walls change. So things like some of the counters and stuff don't always sit nicely when the house is on an angle, because of that slight change to the wall size, because on an angle the grid size changes a bit, if that makes sense. Have you guys ever built on an angle and found that? I definitely found that with this build, just with situating the counters and stuff. It was tricky. because of that old angle size and that sort of thing. So I kind of had to, I guess, join a few of the counters together to make it work. So just doing a bit of decorating, and then I will come back when we are on to the next part of the build. Alrighty, so we're getting to the end of the decorating part of the kitchen. You can see, I sort of see the little bits of clutter around the place. I've used different bits and pieces from a lot of different packs in this one. This is definitely not a limited pack build at all. I don't remember. Oh yeah, no, I definitely use kits. I was like, do I use kits? But yeah, no, I definitely use kits because I was using the Greenhouse Haven kit in the shed just before. So yeah, definitely used kits. So expect this to be a full pack build. So getting to the end, I did forget the rubbish bins. As is I always forget the rubbish bins all the time. So and there was something that didn't work properly with this. I forget what it was, but I did play test it, and there was a couple of things I had to adjust. But that's essentially it for the kitchen. So that's come together sort of with touches of red and the dark brown, and I'm just getting in your fire precautions. So then we're moving into our little fire entrance area. So this is the front door and when you come in. So I just wanted to make it like a cute little cozy area. You might want to sit here by the fire. It's a pity the fire couldn't have been in a different place. Well, I could have done the floor plan differently, I guess, but it is what it is. This is what the floor plan is, and yeah, so you get the fire near the front door. But I guess there wasn't a whole lot of room elsewhere. I mean, like the chimney was where the chimney was, so that's where the fires had to be. So yeah, it's just making it like a little cozy little cluttered area with a couple of chairs, and just make it a nice little place to sit in the evenings. Maybe you're a elderly couple and you want to enjoy some time and warm your bones on a cold winter's evening. So now I am left deciding on what to do with the rest of this build. So this area that I'm squaring off here, this is going to be the single bedroom and the bathroom. So it's a bit of a weird shaped bathroom because it's yeah, just because of the angles. But them's breaks, and it did work out. I did have to shift the bathroom around from what you end up seeing because the bath didn't work with the angle of the wall. But other than that, I mean, I keep everything in there. I just had to switch around how it was all going to sit. I actually ended up using the vampire's bath of all things. It had that sort of traditional look that I think really suited the bathroom. Oh my, I play around with those angles for quite a bit. Just, yeah, accessing it and that sort of thing. But anywho, it all comes together in the end. So using the vampire bath, and I'm not sure which toilet that is. And what do I go for? I just go for the cottage living sink, so I go pretty simple on that. I was going to do like darker furniture, but then it was just like, nah, that's not quite right. So I think they actually ended up working quite well. I think the sink worked just fine. It was the only thing that didn't really work was the bath, but I just tweaked that a little bit, and that came together quite nicely. And the grown together mirror, which I absolutely adore, actually worked really nicely with the gold in the bath. It just was kind of that old gold look to it, and it worked with the taps on the sink as well. So I thought that actually coordinated really nicely. I mean, it's kind of a modern mirror, but because it coordinates with the traditional vibe of the other stuff in the room, I thought it actually worked really nicely. So there's the bathroom done, and now we are moving on to the single bedroom in the corner. And in the single bedroom, we are going for a blue vibe with, I was going to say a few touches of red, but I don't actually think there's much in the way of red in that room. But it is a blue, cute little kind of student room, I guess, or a guest room. Either of those things would work, or a teen room too. It could be anything you like, really, couldn't it? So I am just flicking through, trying to find a rug that will fit. And end up going with the laundry day rug. I think that is. Pretty sure it's laundry day. So the laundry day, laundry day? Oh no, I'm getting a brain freeze on the name of that pack. Laundry pack. So laundry stuff pack and the nifty knitting pack is either of those two. So I did like a little stool in the corner, which you can sit on because I did test that out to make sure that you could actually sit on that properly. Then I was just working on a computer in the corner because I was thinking that this would be like a student kind of room. So that was the idea behind it for me. But, you know, you can use whatever you like. You can do whatever you like with it. If you want to download it from the gallery, you can. If you want to change it into a for rent, like a rent room, you could do that too. Sure, that would probably work quite well, and you could have like all the downstairs areas as a shared area, and like the upstairs area you could do as a separate, like for the renters kind of area too. That could be quite good. It's going to be really interesting when the 4 rent pack comes out, and you know, you can sort of divide homes in a really different way. I'm really fascinated for how this is going to work. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Are you guys excited for the 4 rent pack? It's like Sims 4 rent. It's a bit of a mouthful, but are you guys excited? I am excited about it. I know the whole rental situation is a bit controversial, but I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the fun of playing the game and what it will add to my gameplay as well. So I'm actually using the Horse Ranch freestanding wardrobe unit in the pale blue, which worked really nicely with the other furniture in the room. Surprisingly, there was actually quite a bit of furniture that worked really nicely, I think from a few different packs as well. So yeah, I was quite happy about that. I was like, oh, this works nicely, because I think the stool might have been like from Jungle Adventure or something. So you got the yeah, the wardrobe from Horse Ranch. I think the cats and dogs for the bed, and I can't remember, maybe it's cats and dogs for the side table as well. What I did with the curtains was I actually just, because the curtains were a bit funny, so I just used the immaculate shelving to cover the top, so it was like the curtains were shoved off to the side, so you're pulling them over. It's kind of the idea there. Anyway, I've skipped past that and I'm into the lounge now. It took me a little while, just as a side on what I wanted to do with the couches and the chairs and stuff in here. I just made it like a pretty basic TV room, and I didn't want to have like the same furniture all around, so I think it worked really nicely having the armchair in like a pattern and the couches in a plain swatch with the throws and the rugs on there, because it looks quite homey and stuff there. And I think it ended up looking really cute. I mean, it's on an angle and a bit of an odd shaped room, so it's not the easiest to work with, but I think it turned out really nice. I was really happy with it. And funnily enough, you'll see this on the tour, who I moved in here, and he loved the house. He thought it was really great. He was my little test sim for this, and it just amused me. So I'm just going to put some bookshelves in on that wall space there. And then I was like, oh, what can I do with this little space? Because I wanted to still have that back door accessible. But yeah, the shelves were like sticking out too much. I was like, oh, I'm going to put some wall hanging or something there. And ended up going with that lovely, is it Eco Lifestyle one? I'm going to say Eco Lifestyle. And I'm just using the Horse Ranch quilted wall hanging there on the outside. And I think we are just about finished our build. I'm just going to do a couple more tweaks on the outside. So some chairs from the get together. Oh yeah, there was another little space here I wanted to fill too. So just flicking through the plants and seeing what I can find. Keep it nice and crowded around that front door full of plants. It's like, you know what you're in for when you're going into this house. You're in for a plant lover who loves their simple life. Oh, and then I was like, oh, hang on, I want to use these this vegetable garden pot. So I was like, oh, yep, no, that can go in that space there. And hey, look at that, we're done. So let's take a look at what we did. I think it came out so cute. Like, yeah, I love the landscaping. I think it just fits perfectly with the area because it's all just green around there, and you can see someone strolling off and going for a nice walk from the garden. I did add like a little, oh, that's how the garden shed turned out. Oh, and if you ever look, you'll be able to see the bunny. Look, I got obsessed with that bunny. I was just like, oh, you're so cute. And then it hopped away. So I created like a little rubbish bin area because that's, I mentioned that I forgot the rubbish bins. Yeah. So I created a little rubbish bin area with the fence around the back. And you can see sort of the finishing touches of the ivy and the garden. And that's the back porch there. Moving around to the front, and you got your little seating area with the bird bath and the bird house, and all of the potted plants around the front. I think it turns out super cute, so I'm very pleased with this. So then we are going to head inside. So this is our little welcome area, so it's nice and cozy, roaring fire, and you've got your letter and key rack umbrellas. And look, hey, it's Johnny Zest. He is our host for the for this tour. He is sitting there and he's watching a movie, and I was just like, what are you watching? Because it's like there was dogs and mummies, and I was like, what is that? I don't even know. So going through, this is the cute blue bedroom. It's kind of like greeny blue, but it was blue was the vibe I was going for, but just ended up being sort of a bit green as well. And I think that was super cute. And then this is our bathroom here. You see all the little bits and pieces of clutter going through to the beautiful kitchen. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a rabbit just going through the kitchen. It was just going out the door as I caught the end of it. So little bits and pieces of clutter, so it's nice and cozy and lived in, and yeah, you have all your stuff there. And I remember the rubbish bin, and off to your dining area as well, which I kept fairly simple because the kitchen now has a lot of life to it, and I thought you wanted a bit more space in the dining area. Then heading upstairs, we have the bedroom upstairs. It's a double bedroom, and it is cozy and crafty and in shades of red. So we've got plenty of red there, and yeah, I would think this would be absolutely lovely room in the winter to hang out in. I could see it. You do all your little bits and pieces. Be really nice. And that is our build. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and make sure you got your notification bell on. Catch you later. Bye bye.